We harvested our potatoes today, 6 weeks early. Come along and we'll show you why.
Hi guys, this is Irene from BrainStormAcres. These are our potato pots. This was a big experiment this year to see if we could grow potatoes in pots. We have tried it in the ground before and we have just a bit too much in the way of bugs, grubs and wireworms and things like that. So we've generally lost everything. This year we decided we would try it in pots and see what happens. Now we had sort of a minor infestation of everything this year, and so not so minor in some cases. We've had thrips, the Colorado potato beetles, and cucumber beetles are just starting up. But earlier on we had a bunch of leafhoppers, and according to something I've read online, leafhoppers are a major source of infection for potatoes. So we don't know whether these things are dying because they're done or because they got infected with something, but we've decided that it's time to dump them out and see if we got anything out of the deal. We're getting ready to go on a trip, so we don't have the luxury of saying, well, we'll take this one now and we'll take that one later. So we're just gonna do it and we're gonna see. We'll post the type of potato it is. I honestly don't remember, but we bought it as a Tractor Supply. We waited a little too long in terms of trying to get our potato seeds this year.
Well, actually, to the point, I waited too long because there were some potatoes we wanted up in Flagstaff. And I said, well, we'll pick them up next week when we're down in Prescott.
But let's give this a shot and see what happens. They're nice and soggy. They were getting enough moisture. Well, let's see what we've got. Oh, we have potatoes. Cool. I would say this is a seed potato. I'll ditch that in there for now. But we do have some potatoes. Well, that's better than we did the last time we grew potatoes. If you ever grow potatoes, you have to make sure that all these pea-sized potatoes come out, because they will grow the next year and you'll wind up with potatoes places you don't want them to be. Now so far it looks like we've got what Henry and I would call new potatoes, which is a whole bunch of small ones, which is great because that's the tasty stuff. So that's pretty good, especially this was the first plant that came up, but it was also the first plant that got sick and fell over. Did not see it bloom, and according to the internet, this was supposed to take, I think it said 110 days. And it didn't get 110 days because it wasn't looking so hot. And you know, if it had been looking great, I probably would have just left it till we got home. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this is obviously still growing like crazy, but it just didn't make sense for us to leave it there. If I'm going to spend water, I'm going to spend it on something that's actually doing something. Unfortunately, because we live in an area where water is at a premium, you have to think that way sometimes. That may be, oh, nope, there's some more. I was going to say that may be it, but.
Well, that's more potatoes so far than we got out of that entire bed last year.
Yeah, it is. Last year, well, we got some, but the problem was they were all chewed, so you couldn't eat them. The grubs, I believe, that we're getting here are mostly, what did I figure out they were? Japanese beetles. And I thought that was interesting because Japanese beetles are not a huge problem here. We do see them, but knock on wood, they're not usually a major plague. I used the layout that Tony O'Neill from Here We Grow uses. Just 2 on the bottom level and on opposite sides, and then 2, say 6 inches up from that to form a cross pattern. So you wind up with 4 spaced around, but on 2 different levels.
And we have some grubs in there.
Oh, we do. That's fascinating. Now this was completely clean dirt. That's not a, that's a moth grub. Wow. That's impressive. This was brand new dirt. Never been outside of a bag until we put it in here. And there's a whole clutch of grubs right in the middle of this thing. Wow. Okay. That's impressive in a bad way.
I'm glad we pulled them now because...
Yeah, they'd have been eaten.
Those grubs would have just really... Wow, more grubs. There's 2 more.
Okay. Okay, I'll definitely be looking them up. It's hard to sometimes discern. But if I can figure out what the bug is, I may be able to do something about it for next year. We've got... Ugh. This is gross.
Well, I don't know if it's gross, but it's definitely irritating.
It's a little on the gross side. If you have a handful of those and they're squiggling around, it's a little on the gross side. For people who can't deal with earthworms, they'd be really up you know what creek.
Well, I would say offhand, Irene, that
We have a really incredible grub collection this year. That's nasty.
I think we probably had the same amount last year. Probably around every single one of those potato plants.
Probably. What happened last year was we harvested late. Well, same thing. You know, you let it run according to what they say you do. And then we are not always home, so we have to do it when we can.
We'll have to go back to this again later. Every time we turn it up, there's more showing up.
Yeah.
Well, we're harvesting more grubs than we are potatoes.
Yeah.
But at least we're getting potatoes.
Okay. I think that's everybody in there. Yep, there's some dirt. 2 pounds. No, sorry, those are kilograms. That doesn't help people. 4 pounds, 12.8 ounces. Well, not spectacular, but also not horrible considering what we've gotten in the past. But boy, if we'd left them as long as they should have been,
We'd have nothing
we'd
left.
have nothing.
Hey, you want to weigh the grubs to see how many ounces of grubs we got?
Sure, that sounds delightful. Want an accurate assessment of how many pounds of grubs we got out of the deal. Okay, we have a solid 8 ounces of grubs. 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 God, it's got dirt on the top. That's really gross.
First potatoes of the year.
No grubs. Thanks for joining us harvesting the potatoes. We had planned to do this as a 3-minute Thursday. We didn't expect to harvest, you know, like 7 ounces of grubs in the process too. But the potatoes are delicious. The grubs, I don't know. Not feeling like that would be a good snack. See you next time. Bye. These potatoes are really yummy. Actually, that last one didn't taste good. These potatoes are really... Can I have a drink of water? My water's right here. It's the one with the dirt on the top.